Cyber insurance is one of the most important coverages business owners should consider. The threats it protects against aren't rare, they're not exotic, they're not just a big corporate problem. Ransomware hits small and mid-sized businesses disproportionately hard, not just the Fortune 500 companies you see in the news. My name is Jim Eddington. I run Western Pacific Insurance, and we help businesses with their insurance needs all the time. In this video, I'm going to break down what cyber insurance actually is, what it covers, and why it matters. You own a business, doesn't matter what kind. You've got employees, you've got computers, you've got customer data on your systems. Normal stuff. One Monday morning, you come in and nothing works. Every screen in your office has the same message: pay a ransom in cryptocurrency or your data is gone forever. Your employees can't work. Your customers can't be served. Your phone's still ringing, but you've got nothing to pull up. You are dead in the water. This is a ransomware attack, and it doesn't always happen because someone did something careless. In a lot of cases, it starts with one person on your team clicking one link in one email that looked completely legitimate. That's all it takes. Now you need to move fast, and the decisions you make in the first few hours matter. If you have a good IT company, and you should, they're your first call. We use Stimulus Technologies, and they use a platform called Breach Secure Now to train our team exactly on this type of thing. Your IT partner is going to verify whether the attack is real, assess whether your data is recoverable from backups, and start containment. But even if a great IT company is handling the technical recovery, they're not handling the legal obligations, the breach notification requirements, the regulatory exposure, or the potential lawsuits that come after. Your business attorney is smart, but cyber breach law is a specialty, and that's probably not what they practice day to day. And your regular insurance agent, if you don't have cyber coverage, they're going to tell you this isn't covered under your general liability or your business owner's policy. And this is where cyber insurance enters the picture. Many standalone cyber policies give you access to a 24/7 emergency hotline. On the other end of that line are breach attorneys who specialize in cyber law, forensic investigators focused on determining what data was exposed and what your notification obligations are, and ransomware negotiators if it comes to that. These people work alongside your IT partner, not instead of them. Your IT company gets your systems back online. The policy's response team handles the legal, regulatory, and financial side. And if there's a ransom demand, the response team handles the negotiation because there's a whole discipline around this. And paying the number on the screen is almost never the right move. They'll coordinate with your IT partner to assess whether you can recover without paying. And if you can't, they know how to navigate that process. Just having that team in place before anything goes wrong, that alone is worth the premium. But the policy covers a lot more than the response. A cyber insurance policy generally breaks down into three main areas, and each one matters. The first is what the industry calls first-party coverage, your direct costs as the business. Going back to your scenario, your systems are down, your team can't work, and customers can't be served. First-party coverage pays for the forensic investigation, the data restoration, the system repairs, and the big one, business interruption. That's your lost revenue while you're shut down, plus the extra expenses you're racking up trying to get back on your feet. Emergency workarounds, temporary systems, and overtime once you're back online. For a lot of businesses, the business interruption piece ends up being where the real money is because downtime adds up fast. The second is third-party coverage, the liability side. Let's say that ransomware attack exposed customer data, personal information, financial records, maybe patient data if you're in healthcare. Now you've got notification requirements. You have to inform every person whose data was potentially compromised. Depending on your state and your industry, you may have regulatory obligations on top of that. And then come the lawsuits, people alleging you failed to protect their information. Third-party coverage handles the legal defense, the notification costs, credit monitoring for affected individuals, and the regulatory response. The third is cybercrime coverage. And this one surprises a lot of business owners because it doesn't require a hack in the traditional sense. Social engineering is the big one here. Someone impersonates a vendor or your CEO over email and tricks your bookkeeper into wiring funds to a fraudulent account. Funds transfer fraud, invoice manipulation, business email compromise. These schemes are getting more convincing, and AI tools are making the fake emails and messages harder to spot than ever. This is happening at an alarming rate, and it's not limited to big companies. Now, here's one of the biggest misunderstandings we see. A business owner hears they have some cyber coverage on the BOP and assumes the box is checked. A BOP is a business owner's policy. It's a standard package that bundles property and liability coverage. Some carriers offer a cyber endorsement you can bolt onto it, and on the surface, that sounds great. But those endorsements are typically limited in ways that matter. Many of them only cover third-party liability, meaning if you get hit with ransomware and your systems go down, the first-party costs like forensics, data restoration, and business interruption may not be covered at all. The sublimits on these endorsements are often capped at $50,000 to $100,000, and a serious ransomware event can blow through those limits fast. Some BOP endorsements don't include social engineering coverage. Some don't give you access to the same caliber of emergency response team, and the business interruption terms are often narrower than what you'd find on a standalone policy. We'd never tell a client to skip a BOP endorsement if that's where they need to start. Something is better than nothing. But for most businesses, a standalone cyber policy is the real protection. It's purpose-built for these risks. The limits are meaningful, and the difference in what you actually receive when something goes wrong is significant. So what does this actually cost? For most small businesses, a standalone cyber policy runs roughly $1,000 to a few $1,000s a year. It depends on your industry, your revenue, and how much data you handle. For mid-sized companies with more exposure, premiums go up from there, but even then, it's usually a small fraction of what you're already spending on your other business insurance. Compare that to the cost of an actual event, where total losses for a small business can run well into six figures once you add up the ransom, the response, the downtime, and the legal exposure. And the math is pretty straightforward. This is not an expensive coverage for what it does. One thing that's changed in the cyber insurance market over the last few years is that carriers are asking more questions before they'll write a policy. They want to understand your security posture. Do you have multi-factor authentication on your email and remote access? Do you have endpoint detection and response? Are your backups reliable and tested? Do you train your employees to recognize phishing attempts? These aren't trick questions. They're the security basics that correlate most heavily with whether a business ends up filing a claim. If you're doing those basics, you're in a strong position. You'll qualify for better coverage at a better price. If you're not doing those things yet, especially multi-factor authentication, some carriers won't even write you a policy. That's how seriously underwriters take these controls. But that doesn't mean you're out of luck. It means you need a broker who can help you understand what to put in place and which markets will work with you while you get there. The carriers aren't trying to disqualify you. They're trying to understand your risk. A good broker will walk you through exactly what underwriters are looking for and help you put your best foot forward. If you're a business owner and you're not sure whether you have cyber coverage or you've got a BOP endorsement and you want to understand what it actually covers compared to a standalone policy, we'd love to help you figure that out. My team and I work with businesses across Nevada, Arizona, Utah, and California. There's a link below where you can reach out to us. No pressure, just an honest conversation about what makes sense for your business. Thanks for watching.